I'm dyslexic, so I can't read and write properly. Once you run your own business, you can never work for anybody else.
That's very difficult.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
Growth comes through failure. The biggest failure I had was when I lost everything in England and ended up coming to Dubai 2009 with $750 in my pocket. And the bigger the problems you solve, the richer you get.
So you're a master of sales, but nobody likes to be sold at all the time.
People don't like the word sales.
Yes.
So the moment you say sales, they go, oh, the person who, like a second-hand car salesman, pushes something down your throat.
Should be a founder of the company or the CEO be leading a sales team in their organization?
Not necessarily, no, because not all founders are salespeople, or not all founders are marketeers,
yes.
And certainly not all founders are motivating or inspiring.
Yes. Anyone who joins your course, what outcome he or she can expect out of that?
At the beginning, when I was going to see people, I had to say who I was. I had to justify myself.
Yeah.
But now people are coming to me and say, can I afford you?
In the epic movie Gladiator, we witness a warrior facing many challenges within the grounds of Colosseum. Today, we step into a different kind of arena, one not of combat, but of entrepreneurship, where the battles are just as fierce and the victories are just as glorious. Our guest today is a modern-day gladiator, serial entrepreneur, global business leader, and a motivational speaker, Coach Dariush Soudi. Join us as we delve into Dariush's life and mission, discovering the strategies, the wisdom, and the unstoppable spirit that have defined his path to success. Welcome, Dariush Soudi. How are you today?
You made it beautifully.
Thank you.
We have practiced for the last half an hour.
I did not have any difficulties in pronouncing your name.
Never.
Great.
Thank you for inviting me.
Before I start asking you questions on your coaching, entrepreneurship, your businesses, I would like to ask and I would like to understand, how were your early days? You coming to the UK or you going from Iran to UK? You having heart problems, health issues.
You're going to kill me in this
money.
conversation, aren't you? In 59 minutes, I'll be lying on the floor, microphone here. So what happened
money.
to you?
And
it
then
makes good TV.
Falling into the entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
How was this journey for you?
Well, the fact is I'm not educated, and I'm dyslexic, so I can't read and write properly. And if you do ever get a text message from me, you will never be able to understand it. So I always knew I was good at numbers. I knew that I had a genuine interest in people. So I got into sales. And although I wasn't, again, very good, I'm not talented at anything, but I'm a hard worker. So I was always doing good. I was always number one or number two in sales. Nobody taught me. I was from a single parent family, my mom, and she had no business experience. So there was no internet at the time. And one thing I did know, that if you work hard, you will do okay.
Yeah.
And by a series of coincidences, as a salesman, I saw an opportunity to get into the health and beauty industry in the UK, and we did really good. And then once you know what it's like, once you run your own business, you can never work for anybody else.
That's very difficult.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
To be answerable, what time you go to work, what time you leave, what are you doing, justifying. So.
And it is not also about justifying, but you don't really get to match that pace at which you would like to work and other people are working. So yesterday I was having a conversation with one of our team members, and she comes from a business background. And I asked, what happens in your dad's office? Have you ever been to your dad's office? So she said, yes, I went, Raman, but my dad's business is very old school. And people there are very lethargic. They act in a certain way, wherein we new age people can't really work with them. So I literally went for a week, and I literally had to say to my father that, look, I can't continue here.
Yes.
So you're absolutely right.
I think there are people who are extremely successful from the old days who constantly drive, but they don't get loyalty. I think the way employees see their employers has changed in generations. Because I guess your father, your grandfather, my father, they were in 1 or 2 jobs a lifetime.
That's true.
But now you're expected to have 20 jobs a lifetime.
Yeah. So coming back to your UK story, and wanted to understand you as an immigrant to the UK and becoming the global business leader, running businesses. What is that one turning point or that moment stands out in your entire journey for you?
Failures, really.
Oh, really?
Yeah, growth comes through failure. So every time I've fallen flat on my face, that's been the biggest lesson. And I guess the biggest failure I had was when I lost everything in England and ended up coming to Dubai 2009 with $750 in my pocket.
$750?
Yes, I was 44 years of age with 3 kids and a wife. My kids hadn't gone to school for 6 months. So that was tough. And then you reflect, and I just had a heart attack. So you reflect, you think, what's life about? Why am I doing this? What are my values? That was the biggest lesson. So now, if people give me millions, I still won't take it unless they have the right values. If the values are similar to mine, they're honest, they communicate, they're fast.
Right. Failures are okay. You must have navigated really well the failures, but there are always challenges when you do certain kind of businesses. So if you're a kind of health and beauty king, and so
it didn't work, obviously. Yeah.
So
if it worked, I would have been looking totally different.
So shall I consider this as a challenge?
With hair on my head, yeah.
So shall I consider this as a challenge?
It's a total failure. I've given up.
So just wanted to understand that challenge and how do you navigate it through that?
Well, it's very, very simple. It's your mindset, right? If you wake up in the morning and thinking, I hope I'm going to get loads of problems, instead of thinking, I hope I'm going to have an easy day. And the bigger the problems, if people come to you with problems, you're the problem solver, so you're worth more.
Yeah.
So wake up in the morning hoping and wishing you have big problems. And the bigger the problems you solve, the richer you get.
That's true. So you're a master of sales, you know.
I like to think so.
But nobody likes to be sold at all the time, right?
Yeah.
These days we see a lot of pushing happening.
Yes.
But I'm not. Let me tell you very honestly that I'm not a believer of a push strategy any which way.
Yes.
I would always like to create a pull strategy for my business, wherein I can attract customers to come and we serve them. But so. From you, as you've been the master of sales, we would like to understand.
Can I ask you a question? So you create a strategy, a marketing strategy. People come knocking on your door.
Yes.
Do you shut the door, or do you welcome them in and you do a presentation and you give them a quote?
Yeah.
That's sales.
That's sales.
Right? And then somebody at the end of the day has to say, would you like to go ahead?
Yeah.
If you don't, they're not going to go ahead, right? You say, would you like to go ahead? And
so
if
you need to be persuasive.
Yes, that's a close, right? So we just play with the word. People don't like the word sales.
Yes.
So the moment you say sales, they go, oh, the person who, like a second-hand car salesman, pushes something down your throat. But that's not sales. Right?
I think that's how the business, the word business development got innovated.
Yeah. But if you actually look at, have you ever seen a salesman's business card where it says sales? Never. They are account managers, directors, because they're scared of the word sale themselves.
Right.
So don't be frightened of sales.
If I may,
by the way, you are a salesman. Can I ask you another question? I'm interviewing you now. Okay. When you hire someone in your company quite high up, do you just put them in your, here's a seat, go and sit down? You don't. You sell them your vision.
That's true.
You sell them your company. You sell them the whole ethos and values of your business, right? So you're selling. So people are always selling. A mother, right? Let's go to the mall. Got to sell that idea to the kids. They're selling. You with me? So I think the first thing is be comfortable with the word sales. And I would, if I have a company that has salespeople, I would put sales right in the middle of the business card. Don't be scared of it. Put sales on your damn business card.
Okay, so that's the technique for the modern days. Do you think in the sales the entire process, when you're trying to sell somebody and something, do you think educating the other person or the client is equally important when you're trying to sell something?
Yes. And what happens is, it's the truth that majority of the time, no matter what you say, they're not going to believe it anyway. Because the moment you leave, they'll go on Google and everything else and check to see what you've said. So what I say is to build a relationship, educate your Customers or prospects, because they're not
prospects.
customers, yes, right?
Okay.
Most people don't know the difference between a customer and a client.
Okay.
So if you go to a hairdresser, it's been a long time since I went to a hairdresser, but
Yeah.
if you go to a hairdresser, are you a customer or a client? Client. They call you a client.
Okay.
Ladies will know, behind the screen, she's sitting there.
Okay.
If you have your nails done, are you a customer or a client? Lady in the back? You're a client. You're a client, right? If you go and buy shoes, are you a customer or a client? You're a customer, right? The difference is clients keep going back and they see you as an expert. So if you're going to have nails done, you say, oh, what's the latest color? Or what's the latest fashion, right? That's a client. A customer goes, I want these brown shoes, size 9. And they come to you whenever they need them. So it's really important that people understand the difference between customers and clients. Clients, you educate. Mm-hmm. So if you educate them something they didn't know, they might not buy from you, but they'll leave your shop or put their phone and go, that's interesting, that was different. I don't know this. And then in a party tonight or to my kids in the car, did you know?
Yeah.
Right. The moment I teach somebody else what you taught me, I'm automatically indebted to you. Mm. Automatically, I see you as an expert. So if that problem ever incurs, I'll come to you.
My follow-up questions on the entire sales piece here would be, we see a lot of debate these days on this. Should be a founder of the company or the CEO be leading a sales team in their organization?
Not necessarily, no, because not all founders are salespeople, or not all founders are marketeers, and certainly not all founders are motivating or inspiring.
Yes,
companies have hired me to turn their company around. I teach and train and motivate the salespeople. The owner comes, screams and shouts and threatens to fire them, and he's lost everything that I worked for. Right, so you got to create an environment, but it's consistently rewarding. Consistency is everything. And if that owner can't do it, maybe they're great at, I don't know, driving vans or operations or finance. Right, you need an inspirational leader. There could be like 5% shareholder, but people see them as leader of humans.
Okay,
that's what I think.
So you might look certain characteristics when you look at certain salespeople and then say, okay, yes, these are the people who can at least sell. Yes.
You see, what happens is I put people through a 7-step recruitment process.
I have that question in my...
they don't even know they're being interviewed. Yes. So I can tell you, but if I let it at the back, everybody will know, right? Yeah. So let's hope the people who are not going to come for interviews listen to this. So if they're a problem solver, and if they're team players, if they smile when they come to work, because happiness is a decision. You don't either wake up miserable, happy. You decide to be happy or miserable, right? Yes. So those are the characteristics of somebody I'm looking for. And in a one-to-one interview, you're going to tell me what I want to hear, and 99% of the time, you know the questions I'm going to ask. So we go through this BS process of asking and answering questions, and after you've interviewed 6 people in a day, you can't remember the first person you interviewed. Yes. Right? And they go, oh, I'll just go for the last one. It felt good, or he looked good. And then you wonder why people leave or you have clashes, right? Because they don't have a systemized recruitment process. And people know what the questions are. So they tell you what you want to hear. 3 months down the line, you find out they were lying to you. Yeah. They are miserable, they lie, they cheat. Have you ever had a CV where the person says, I got fired for stealing? Never in my life. Right. I got fired for not performing. Yeah. Everybody left by choice. You know, of course, CVs are lies. My CV's a lie. Yeah, I can't even remember half the jobs I left or got fired from. So it's abbreviated. You know. So what are we doing to bypass the CV and find
people would say that there was a downsizing which happened.
I was a victim of downsizing. Yeah, but if you were making money, they would have kept you, right? So.
Yeah. So in the digital age, you've harnessed the social media and you've been connecting with a broader audience. We look at, the views or the entire presence of yours. In any way, that has transformed your business, and if it has, how it has done that for you?
Thank you. I think life's a journey of miracles. Right, so several miracles happen that shape your destiny. Yeah. And about 8-9 years ago, one of my students who had a company said, I'm doing an event. Would you come and speak? I said, I'm not a speaker. come and speak at 5 o'clock on Sunday. And I had no idea. It's called a dead man slot, right? So Saturday, everybody's gone. Sunday, I'm the last person on Sunday to speak. And everybody's like looking at their watch, falling asleep. I'm the guy. So there's 150 something people in the room.
Yeah.
And I had to only speak for an hour. I spoke for 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours?
Other speakers were pissed off. But what was interesting, after 2.5 hours, there were more people in the room than when I started. And they were laughing, crying, jumping and down. And the guy goes, "Oh my God, you're a natural." I said, "Natural what?" I just shared my story. And then somebody opened up a Facebook page, and I've got 500,000 followers on Facebook now. And then, so I just take ownership of that page. But thank you for my followers. But here's the difference. At the beginning, when I was going to see people, I had to say who I was. I had to justify myself.
Yeah.
But now people are coming to me and say, "Can I afford you?" I'm the same person, but people's perception changes.
The perceived value has changed.
That's the only difference, honestly.
So there's always a debate when people are talking in the offices or wherever. Everybody would say be specific. In general, even so be specific or be elaborative on your problems. That's the debate everybody has these days. But asking open-ended questions is a cornerstone of your approach, right? To adding values to your clients. Because that's how I think you drive or you coach to whosoever you do in a limited way, I would say. So if you can share an example of that, how that method works, and why do you always suggest to have open-ended questions instead of being specific in general?
Okay, let's say, let's just pretend I'm a woman. It's a very hard one to imagine, but let's pretend I'm a very hot woman sitting in a bar. And pretend you're single and you look at me and you think, "Oh, I quite like to meet this person. Maybe I can have a relationship with him," right? With her. And it's just like business. So people want to have business relationships. So you come to me and say, "Hello, do you come here often?" "No." And then you ask me another question. "Yes." Another question. After about 3 minutes, you run out of questions.
So you're saying if you are not asking open-ended question, you're not giving enough room for the conversation to go ahead.
When two people speak, who wants to speak most and what about? I want to speak most about myself. I don't want to sit here and listen to you asking questions. Go, yep, nope, yep, no. So relationships aren't built by asking closed questions. Now, there's a science. When I do my coach, I don't do one-to-one coaching anymore. I do groups of 100 and stuff like this on my seminars.
Right.
And I say to them, write 20 open-ended questions. At what number do you think people start struggling?
5?
7.
7.
Okay. You're right. Do you know what happens? They sit, they go, blah, 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 let me show you my product.
Yeah.
They go into selling mode, right? And the idea is that if I'm really interested, you think, "Oh, wow, I like this guy because he's interested in my problems."
Yeah.
Okay? And then the more questions I ask, the more I can zoom into fixing your problem.
So the listening makes the difference?
Interactive listening. So my questions are relevant. I'll say, "So where do you go shopping, for instance? Where do you go shopping for your beautiful clothes?"
Yeah.
Okay, so
the small.
Okay. Why is that? Why is that? Yeah. Tell me why. It's an open question. So, I like it, they have my size. Okay. And the next question is, great, what schools do your children go to? And you think, where the hell did that come from? There's no relevance between the first two questions and the third question. And you think this guy is false. So it's very important in which order you ask the questions. So it becomes natural.
Yeah, so the order, if you're just trying to sell something, and if it is an order, you might look very pushy.
Exactly, it falls because now the buyer is far smarter than the seller.
Yeah,
they know more often about your products and services than you do.
Right. I would be greedy here to understand that in a more elaborative way, the 7-step recruitment process.
Okay, so the reason I've kind of been successful in sales and business is because I have a sensitivity to what other people are thinking. So sitting here now, I probably can get it right what the lady behind the screen is thinking, your colleague is always thinking, and you're thinking. If I can tap into what you're thinking, Okay, because I was brought up around women have an extra sense, right? I noticed that my male colleagues don't get it, but when somebody walks through the door, I can 99% of the time get it right what they're thinking. Okay, and then what you find, that thinking process is common. It's
for
common
everybody,
for everyone, anywhere in the world. You're walking down the Mall of the Emirates, and you're in your own world with your kids, with your wife, whatever. You're going somewhere, and suddenly this guy or girl jumps up with a perfume. I promise you, in the room, you're all thinking the same thing. What are you thinking? Oh, God damn it. Every time I'm in the middle of this damn place, I get caught by these idiots. I should go on this side and mingle with everybody else.
Yeah.
True. And then now, what am I going to say to get rid of him?
Yeah.
So you say, it's okay, I'm in a rush. Thank you. No, thank you. And then you go. And the guy who works for a multi-billion-dollar company doesn't change his approach. He approached 10,000 people and he sprays 2.
Yeah.
The mentality and the process is just a game, but people don't look into it. It's the same in the interview process. So when I put an ad, in the ad, I write a 7-step recruitment process. When I put the ad, I said, do not send your CV.
Okay.
Okay? How many people do you think send their CV? 90%.
Yeah.
So attention to detail. I say, send me a heartfelt cover letter. Majority don't send me a heartfelt cover letter. Yeah, I've got gardeners, accountants, drivers sending their CVs cut and paste.
Yes.
They're eliminated. That's the first process. Then my heading, and if you place an ad and the ad is all about, we've been established 10 years, we have 2,000 drive, we're this, and we want this, where are you going to get loyalty from, right? So what I say is that we're looking for happy people, motivated, self-starters, problem solvers, this. By the way, we are Arena Capital. 1 line. If they want to know more, they go on my website.
Yeah.
I don't rave about how amazing my company is.
Right.
I want the right people. So how many times...
And you want them to research about it.
But most people don't, right? Yeah. How many people you hold interviews, phone you 5 minutes before asking for location?
Many of them.
Yeah? I don't hire them.
Yeah.
Because you should have done your research. Yeah. Right? Because you're going to represent me the same way when you're going to the prospects.
Yeah, if you're going to go for a meeting, you're going to ask the client for the location like the 5 minutes before.
They would, because they did it in you and you hired them, right? So it's okay. So those are the very fine parameters that I get my receptionist to filter people, right? So when I put an ad, now how many times when you see an ad, and I used to look for jobs, and maybe somewhere along the way you did as well, you think, oh my God, it's good. Oh no, that human being can't exist because they've got so many qualifications, years of experience. So you eliminate really good people. Lots of companies missed up hiring me because the ads was wrong, because I just felt I didn't fit.
Yeah, because the filtration process was wrong.
It's wrong, right? So I changed that. I'll go for the mindset, and 85% of success is the mindset. 10% is habits, the right habits. 5% is the skill we teach.
Which can be taught.
If you have the motivation, right?
Yes.
If you're not bothered, you're not loyal, you hate the company, no matter how many times you train them, they're not going to work. So CVs is 85% skills, 10% habit, 5% motivation. So I do 85% motivation, 10% habit, 5% skill. Okay. So, and then what you find is a lot of people phone because it's an unusual ad. And the first thing, they phone up and say, ask for Sally. Sally is actually Alexa. Okay, but Sally has different names. There's Sarah, Alexa, So every time they phone, we know which job they're applying for. Okay, well, the same phone rings. So when it says Sally, we know it's a sales job. My name is Raman. Raman, hi, thanks for calling. Tell me why you're a superstar. That's the question we ask.
Yeah.
Call us when you know you are. Boom, that's the second elimination process, right? What we're looking for is Raman phoning us saying, hey, you know what, I screwed up previously, but now I know why I'm a superstar. We go, wow, he doesn't take rejection.
Yeah.
He comes back.
Right.
And that's because average sales process, you get 8 rejections before you get a yes.
Yeah.
We don't want quitters.
Right.
Okay?
Correct.
So then we make an appointment for you to come and see me at 9 o'clock next day. Okay? At 9 o'clock next day, 12 people turn up because we've set the same thing to 12 different people. Okay. Now, how many times have you set an appointment, people don't show up? True?
Yeah, true.
So you spend half your time, set aside your busy life, half the people you made appointments don't show up. You wasted your life.
Yes.
So we say this 9 o'clock to 20 people. Half don't show up, 10 still turn up.
Yeah.
So I'm saving my client's time and my time.
Right.
Okay. So the first person comes, there's a spy in the 10 people that's recruited by me. The receptionist is in the game. So the receptionist is marking them. Do they come early? Do they come on time? Some people come with their spouses or mothers and fathers outside the door. Have you ever had that?
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
You know, you're coming to work for me and you got your husband outside. He's going to be knocking on my door saying, why are you talking to my wife like that? You know? So she's marking them. And then who comes late? Who comes on time? Who comes an hour early? Right? Because they're the ways they're going to represent you in the marketplace. You don't have time to monitor everyone. So she's marking them. And then after the third one, they start realizing everybody's asking for me 9 o'clock. And we line him in a dentist chair with a spy there. And then they realize that it's a group interview. Okay? And they change. The energy changes. Maybe the Filipinos get together, the Arabs get together, the Indians get together, and they form unions. Okay? Or the men look at the girls in the wrong way. All the time my spy is monitoring their behavior.
Okay.
Then I run it late by 20 minutes.
Okay.
Okay? Because when you go and see a client, do they always turn up on time? Not always.
Not most of them, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So what happens, I see their behavior when change happens and things don't go according to plan. And probably 70% of the people in the room freeze.
Yeah, they get frustrated also.
Frustrated, angry, annoyed, complain, bitch about you. Because this is what they'll do when you're not there.
Yeah.
Okay? So before they know it, we've eliminated 70% of the people in there. I come in, form a circle, 40 minutes, get to know each other, ask open-ended questions, and people try to, some people will try to like sabotage you in the group.
Right,
okay?
Right.
And I say to them, have you ever met each other? No. Ask each other one open-ended question. They can't. Someone said, what's your favorite color? I'm like, that's the first question they ask. I'm like, is that, they're not going to have the skills. We need human skills.
Yeah.
Okay. And then at the end, it's about 40 minutes. I can interview 12 people in 40 minutes. Right. And then I say to them, there's a piece of paper in front of you. Okay. What I want you to do is, but if anybody pulls out a CV, I said, put it away. I'm getting to know you. Yeah. CV is the next process. And then I say, there's a piece of paper in front of you. If you were in my position, who would you hire? And put their name down. Okay? Do you know majority of people vote for who? Somebody else.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the superstar who says, I'm your guy.
Yes.
I'm your lady.
They should write their name. Yeah.
Are you with me? Yeah. And during this game, 40 minutes, I set rules. And it's amazing how many people don't listen to the rules. And they're going to break your rules that you're going to set up in the company.
Yes.
So that's a 7-step process. And then I say, have your phones on. I'm going to call you within half an hour. How many people are disrespectful? You go for an interview, you never hear from someone, right?
Yes.
I say, I promise you, within half an hour, I'll call you. Make sure your phones are on. Amazing how many people don't have their phones on. 50%. Think about it. Majority, believe it or not. Yeah. But most of them go and have coffee together because now, guess what? They're friends. Yeah. Because they'll ask each other questions, they like each other. The majority are going to have into a coffee shop. But you know what I do? I reject them all. Even the one. And here's the thing. The one who says me, highly likely most people in the room vote for her as well. Right? Because you want people work for you who most people like. True?
Right.
So, and then even that person would reject. How was it? Whoa, it was amazing, the process. I've never had this. I want to work for a company like this who surprises me, blah, blah, blah. I want to work for you. Yeah, you did really well. But unfortunately, this time around, you didn't get the job. Right? And we want to see how they behave. Really, why? I said, we're just kidding. You did get to the next level. Yes. But we just want to know if you failed at that final hurdle. Oh, my God, you guys are amazing. You're always testing me. When is my next interview? Fantastic. 4:45 tomorrow morning at the office. 4:45, 4:45 a.m. Oh, that's a bit early. I'm not a good... Oh, you just failed your final test. Goodbye. Someone said, 4:45, I'll be there. I'm kidding you. Come at 9 o'clock. And I go, oh my God, every time I speak to you, it's a test. By this time, they really want to work for you. Yeah. Because they think working for your organization, they're constantly being tested and challenged and grow. Right. You with me? Right. And then they bring their CV, we have a one-to-one.
Okay, great.
Do you know how many people we interview on average to get to one?
Yeah.
Over 900.
900 people?
Before we get to one.
Long process? How many days?
Not really, because I do mass. Yeah. So we get like 400 or 500 calls a day. And out of that, we get 20 people in the room. After that, we get one.
Would like to understand the Gladiator Mastery. And anyone who joins your course, what outcome he or she can expect out of that?
It's a very good question because I haven't had a course
Yeah.
until literally as we speak right now. It's just about to come out.
Okay.
They used to come to my seminars, okay? And my seminars is a boot camp
Okay.
where I tell people what they should hear, not what they want to. So what happens is I personally went around the world on seminars and courses and stuff. And guess what they teach you? Motivation. Make the call, do this, do that. And I'm like, nobody's teaching me. I am motivated. I've just spent $10,000, traveled halfway across the world. I am motivated.
Yeah.
Teach me some skills. So what I do is, I'll give you an example. Where is the power position in a sales room when you're in a sales meeting? Where is your power position? Where should you sit in the room?
Across the table.
No. The power position, you sit facing the door.
Okay.
Let me explain to you why. Let's say I'm the owner, you're the salesperson, okay? And you're trying to pitch me, you're selling me your products, and I'm distracted because of what's going on behind you. I'm sure you've had that, right?
Yeah.
I've had it. And you, not that you're trying to get his attention, now you're trying to say, come on now, come on, please, I'm trying to sell you something. Focus on what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
So what I do is I sit next to them. I walk into a room and say, I'm sorry, I have this phobia about having my back to the door. Do you mind if I sit near you? And they go, okay. They don't care. So what happens is, if lady or T-boy or whatever or accountant walks by,
They'll be interacting with you.
correct, they walk in and you go, please, and you're in charge of it. No, please, you deal with them, I'll wait for you.
Yeah.
You with me? And also, 7,000, 8,000 years ago, when we were cavemen, we didn't sit with our back to the cave door, did we? Because any animal could go and kill you. So already you're in a vulnerable position, having a back to the cave door, right? Mm-hmm. So what I teach people is the skills, little skills that make you successful. I hope and pray you pay to come to my seminar. You're already motivated.
Yes.
Right? I don't need to teach you motivate. Although my story of life inspires you. You think about it, if this bald guy can do it, I can do it. That's my inspiration. But I teach you the skills so you don't have to have 2 heart attacks, lose $100 million. So you can have a accelerator course to or pave your way faster to success.
Or learn some skill sets to get to the next level.
And guess what? 99% of the people don't do anything.
Yeah.
I even tell them what to... I have a letter that I write for people that 25% of the people who ghost them, you know what ghosting is?
Yeah.
You meet them, it's going really well, and they don't reply to you.
Yes.
And you don't understand why.
Yeah.
Because most people are good people, they just don't want to reject you, they don't want to hurt your feelings. So they avoid you for about a week or two, then you give up, right? I have a letter I write, 25% of people ghosted will reply. And I give it to people. And I say, anybody ghosted you on the course? And I write the letter for them on a WhatsApp or an email. Most of the time, that person ghosted them replies during the course. Like one guy made $300,000. Oh my God, Dariush, this stuff works.
Yeah.
Right? Still, they don't send that letter. Why? Because people are habitual. It's changing a shitty, bad habit is difficult.
It's difficult.
So they don't change habits because the desire to succeed isn't big enough.
Yeah.
So
and that's what they need to learn as well.
Yeah, that's why I want to deal with them. We have a program called Junior Gladiators. So we deal with kids, teaching them to that. Because at the age of 30, 40, they're so stained, so the society has marked them so much. They go home to their negativity. They come to hear this motivated guy during work. Well, home life, everything has been, money's the root of all evil. Rich people are bad people. Money doesn't grow on trees. You know, who do you think we are, Rockefellers? It's being forced on us to have a fear of money. But the truth is, there's enough money for everyone.
So you're trying to build that culture of performance from day one?
Yes. And no bullshit, right? Because 2,000 years ago, if you were a gladiator and you went, oh, you know what, I'll just do my own thing, right? And you go into the arena, what's going to happen? You're going to die.
Right.
Instantly. And you know, on the way out, there was always a person smashed your skull just in case you pretended you were dead.
Yes.
People don't even know that. You can't. Those you couldn't pretend.
Yeah.
But now we're in a society. We go 8 appointments, 8 rejections. It's fine. That's part of life. We knock on 100 doors. One will say yes. And people I know now in 50 years, the 20-odd-year-olds, 30-year-olds will have a frustrated life. You look back and you think, I should have, I could have. And I don't want people to have that.
Let's talk about work-life balance and why I'm going to talk about it. Because there's I don't know whether you have read it or not. There's a recent new debate in India. The founder of Infosys, Mr. Narayan Murthy, has come up with the thought process. He says the youngsters needs to work 70 hours in a week's time. Instead of 40, 48, 50, whatever the trend has been. But you really need to put in 70 hours if we really want to compete with the world. If we really want to compete with the superpowers, economical powers. And hence, there's always a lot of debate around it. Do you think that this phenomena of work-life balance for an entrepreneur exists in this world?
Wow, loaded question. Do I agree with this gentleman? No.
Okay.
Because he's probably in his 70s or older.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
So
he's almost on a retirement age because he founded a company which is almost
did
$1 billion.
Very well. But doing it the old style, where you had to put the hours in. Here's the thing. My son is 15. I have 3 sons, 9, 15, 29. My 9-year-old no, but my 15-year-old knows more about stuff than I do. I look at him thinking, I didn't have this conversation, dialogue and understanding, because the information is there.
It's at the tip of the finger.
This gentleman, probably when he started his company, there was no internet like me. So he had to cycle or walk to the library, get trained to the library for that information and wait until somebody put that book down before he could grab it and read it, right? So he had to put hours in. It doesn't work like that anymore. Mm-hmm. What you need is commitment now. To become an expert in something, you need to, I believe, put 10,000 hours in on average to become an expert in that field.
Okay. So that's the math.
Correct. Okay. Not 10,000 hours of work. Work has changed. 50 years ago, it was factories. Now, you can send an incredible viral email that achieves more than 1,000 salespeople going around knocking on doors. Your reach is so much more than ever before, because you can reach somebody across the world by just an email or a social media post.
Yeah.
So you got to invest time in becoming an expert in your field, not work hard.
So how did your life change after the second heart attack? Because it is not easy to cope up with that. And why I'm asking this is a very personal question.
You have
because my father had.
Is he with us?
He's with me. Yes, he lives in India.
Thank God.
So. Of course, he had twice. So
me too.
Yeah. So that's
I should give him a call.
So, and we have kind of survived through that phase because he was the only breadwinner for us, and we had to literally slow down on certain things, then make our own living and be whatever you're doing. So, how does that has changed for you post that incident? And of course, during that process and then recovering and then making it back again.
I've had 2 heart attacks. The first one was the great one because you think you're invincible until you see your heart being operated on and you think, oh shit, I'm blood and veins and I'm not invincible. You think you're a machine until something goes wrong. And I never experienced that kind of feeling of cramp in my, I don't know if he felt the same, but the whole I was paralyzed here and it was painful. And when you have pain, you can touch and feel it, but I couldn't. I don't know what it was. So it was a shock. The second time was really strange, but I knew it wasn't my time. I just knew it's just another hurdle in Gladiator's life.
Oh, okay.
I just I knew I wasn't going to die. Everybody was panicking. I thought, I'm not going to die. However, my father died when he was 29 of a heart attack. So I kind of expected something was going to come. Oh. Okay. So I just changed my lifestyle, yes, and ate better and blah, blah, blah. But then the second time I was in New York, I was just about to go on stage to speak in front of a crowd. And I got this cramp and I was rolling on the floor of the hotel in pain. And I couldn't sleep the night before. So I thought, oh, this could be it actually, because I'm on my own in New York. What the hell? So, but again, you know what I thought? Gladiators don't quit. I went on stage, okay? During my heart attack, I was doing a talk, right? Everybody stood up, they clapped and
But that
everything else.
really need that your internal power or your internal
You just dig deep.
strength to get that
Yes.
courage and deal
Yes.
with it.
And you think, thank God, because some heart attacks just die. My dad died in his sleep. He didn't have a chance to fight it. But I was so stupid that I had a talk the next day in Nashville, Tennessee. Anyways, one of those countries and one of those counties.
Yeah.
So I took a plane, and I should never take a flight when you have a heart attack, to there. And my heartbeat sitting on the bus going to the plane was 190 beats a minute. I did the talk in Tennessee.
Took the flight.
Took the flight, did the talk, but they said, do you want to come to an after party? I said, I really need to go to hospital. So I went to hospital and I said, you've had a major heart attack. And I said, I want to sign myself up. I want to fly back to Dubai. And I took a flight, 15 hours to Dubai, and I landed here and went to the doctor, said, 3 of your arteries are shut. You need to, I said, but I've got 2 more talks this weekend. This is a Friday. So I did my talks, right? They had my heart attack, had my surgery, but before you go, I want to tell you this story. The best clothes in the world. So my surgeon says, we had to put 3 stents in your heart, okay? So I pay him 120,000 dirhams. And he said, am I going to be asleep? No, you're going to be sedated. Okay, so I'm there having the heart surgery done, which is a miracle through it. Did your dad have the stents put in?
No, not really.
Was it open heart?
No, it's not. He didn't go through any surgery.
Oh, thank God, thank God. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's really good.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that strong.
Yeah, it was not
No,
that
I had to have
severe.
3 stents put in.
Yeah.
And then next thing I know, he's waking me up on the table when I'm having my heart surgery, and I'm like, "What's this?" He goes, "We found the 4th one."
Oh God.
Right? I suggest we operate. I said, okay. He goes, that'll be another 30,000 dirhams. Is that okay? I'm like, is he fucking serious? Right? I said, of course it is okay. Yeah, I'm lying. So I thought, and then further on, I tell people at my courses, if you want to close someone, put them on a heart table, open the heart service, and do you want another one doing? So he stuck me with another 30,000 dirhams.
Yeah. Great. Thank you so much for this lively conversation. I'll move to the rapid fire round and quickly one-word answers. That would help.
Closed answers. Closed questions.
Yes. If you could have dinner with any historical figure, who would it be?
Napoleon.
Napoleon? Okay. What is your most unusual talent or skill?
Hugging.
Hugging?
I hug everyone.
Oh, okay. If not Gladiator, what other name would you keep for your course and community?
Warriors.
Warriors. What is the most memorable book you have ever read?
Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill.
Think and Grow Rich. Millions in your bank account or millions of followers?
Millions bank account.
Your favorite entrepreneur?
Elon Musk.
Will you ever retire?
Never.
What's your most frequently used app on your phone?
Instagram.
What is the most weird piece of business advice you have ever received?
You give too much love.
Okay. Describe yourself in 3 words.
Sensitive, direct, passionate.
A habit you're trying to break.
Biting my nails.
Your favorite way to give back to the community.
Sharing.
Sharing knowledge.
Sharing knowledge.
What is your signature fighting move in the business?
Next.
Next. Okay.
Next.
Thank you very much for all this and doing this wonderful conversation with me.
Really enjoyed it.
I appreciate your time. I hope you've enjoyed too.
Loved it.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you, Raman.
Dariush's story is one of the unyielding determination, and his journey from adversity to success is an inspiring lesson for all of us. Remember, obstacles are stepping stones for greatness. As we conclude this conversation, let's carry the wisdom we have gained today into our own lives and entrepreneurial endeavors. Thank you for joining us. Do keep showing your love by liking, sharing, and subscribing to our channel. Keep the spirit high of enthusiasm alive. Thank you very much.